everyone. If you are new here, welcome to my channel. If you are not new here, welcome back, friends and family. Today I'm doing a collaboration which is being hosted by Claire at Claire's Crafty Corner. So thank you, Claire. This is for Halloween. As you can see here, I have some skull molds. These are actually made for ice cubes, would you believe? I got these from an Australian store. I don't know whether it's exclusively Australian, but from a store called Smoke Mart. They do all kinds of different things, and I got quite a few molds from there just to have a play with. Also, I'm using a new product for me today. This is the polyurethane crafting resin. It is the quick set formula. Sets in about 10 minutes, so you don't have a lot of time to play with it. I have been playing with it for a couple of days and really quite enjoyed it. Um, the one thing I will say about this particular product is that it says that it cures white, but it doesn't. It's sort of a really yellowy off-white, so I am going to colour it. As you can see, I'm doing the right thing and doing my PPE, which everybody should be doing when using any type of epoxy resin. Um, I would also like to say that when colouring this polyurethane, I put in the A part first and I colour it then. I do use a pigment paste that I made myself, and it's quite a thick paste, and I'm also using a little bit of a shimmer. So there you see I'm going to pour the part A in first, and then I'm going to use my colouring, and I'll be colouring it before I put the hardener in, obviously, because it only takes 10 minutes to cure. You don't have a lot of playtime with it. So you'll see here that I will put in some, I think it's called Pearl White Shimmer powder. And oh, look at me cleaning up. Isn't that nice? I'm going to be putting some Pearl White Shimmer powder in. And then I'll be putting in a small amount of my homemade pigment paste. And while I'm doing that, I just wanted to pop in and say a quick welcome to all my new subscribers. I'm still a very new channel, and I am very thankful for all the people that have subscribed to my channel and keep watching every week. I really appreciate all your support. It really does mean a lot to me. So there you can see they've got the pearl. It's a pearl white powder. I put quite a bit in there. It doesn't make a real big difference because when on demold with this skull, the actual mold is um, very flat, so you get a matte finish on demold. So the shimmer doesn't really make much of a difference. So I would say for future projects, I probably wouldn't add this if I was using this particular mold again. When using your pigment paste, um, my pigment paste is very pigmented and it's very thick, so it does take a little bit of time to get it to mix well into the resin. But I am just going to take my time here. There's no need to rush this bit, and you really don't want to. You see all the lumps that are in there. I'm just going to scrape it on the sides and try and get that evenly distributed through this before I add the next part. Um, I've noticed that in other videos that I've seen people using the polyurethane resin and them saying that they can't seem to get the pigment paste to get distributed through the resin itself. I I would totally understand that, but I thought if I took some time and just give it a really good mix that I would have some success with it. And in the end, it did really work, and it worked really, really well. I have to say that this polyurethane resin is um, very, very quick. Here in Australia, we're heading into our summer season. Although we still have some cool nights, the days can be quite warm, starting to warm up. So this took less than 9 minutes for it to completely cure. So if you were doing markets or any stalls or needed some product or inventory for those things, this would be the product to use. Um, I found it really easy to use, and also there was little to no odor, although I did do it in a well ventilated area, and I would recommend that. So I'm just going to quicken this up a little bit and get to the good bit. Once it's all distributed right through that part A, I'm going to add the part B. Um, on the bottle, it does say to shake quite, shake the bottle quite well. I didn't really want to do that. Well, I have to be honest, I did do it the first time because I'm a newbie with this resin, and I found that it just included too many bubbles. So all I'm doing now is just tilting it, just making sure that all the liquid in there is all distributed, and yeah, so we'll add that to the part A, and I only stir it for about 30 seconds. Oh, look, I've got all the time in the world to wipe down the bottle. That's great, Nat. So we'll stir that up for about 30 seconds, and then I'll get the mold in, and we will pour that into the mold. And I do leave this sitting in front of the camera for a little while, and it does take about 9 minutes, but I have quickened it up by 5. So feel free to fast forward this bit. I do end up fast forwarding it quite a bit in a moment, but you'll notice that the pigment has gone through both part A and part B quite well, and it's distributed all that pigment right through. And you'll see the end product when I take it out. You can even see when I'm pouring it that it's a bright white, and I with some polyurethane, and when they say white, it is white, and I have seen others use the white, but this one is not. That's why I added the pigment. So it is a little bit more of an effort when you don't have the white, but when we think about using it in other products, or for other products, or for other um, creations that you're doing, it means that the the resin itself can probably be coloured a little bit better than the white. So here you can see that I've just put my hand on it. It does get very, very, very hot. It's probably the hottest resin that I've ever felt, epoxy resin. I know that some of the UV resin can get quite warm too, but this was really, really quite hot. So this was less than 9 minutes later, and I'm already popping it out, and it's just a perfect mold. Um, it's it's wonderful. I love it. Okay, now we're going to get into some of the design. I'm going to be using, if you've watched some of my previous videos, I've just recently, in the past month or so, gotten some coloured UV resins just here on the screen now. I'm going to be using the coloured UV resins. There is another option that I'll show you on the screen. You could use nail polish. This is a no brown nail polish. So you could use that. You could use gel nail polish and put it under the UV lamp. But I got these, and they've got a little bit of a sparkle in them. So I'm going to be doing a sugar skull. today. Um, I've done quite a few of these, not so much resin wise, but I've done quite a bit of face painting, and so the sugar skulls can be very popular. So I've done a few of them before. So all I'm doing here is just colouring the cavity of the eyes, and later on I'll do the nose, and I'll show you how I do the teeth and everything, and then I will go through and do some flowers and other bits and pieces of designs. If you've watched other YouTubers, other Australian YouTubers, and around the Halloween time, we, we don't actually have a Halloween holiday as such. We do celebrate a little bit, and I've done some face painting in the past for Halloween. Um, Obviously, the kids absolutely love going around and trick or treating, um, but we don't, have a holiday as such, so it's not a huge thing here in Australia. So, going back to the project, the best thing about using the UV resin in here is that just getting a little bit of the 100% isopropyl alcohol, or 99.9 if you want to be a perfectionist, you can actually clean it up very, very well. It it takes no time, it just comes straight off. So if you make any mistakes, don't fret, just go in with the isopropyl alcohol, and that will clean it up for you. So these are the other colours that I'm going to be using today. I just sort of wanted to get those eye sockets done first, and cue it off, and I will start my design. Um, I wasn't too sure whether this was going to work, because obviously resin is very, very different from face paint, um, but it actually worked quite well. If you watch a lot of artists on YouTube, you might know of the dotting technique, and this worked really, really well with the coloured UV resin. I would highly recommend you giving it a go if you get a chance. So I'm just going to go through my whole design. Some of it I will fast forward for you a little bit. Feel free to fast forward if you would like. But I'm just going to put on some music and let you have a bit of a look. If you have any questions for me at all, just put them down in the comments below, and I will do my best to answer them for you. I just wanted to pop in here and just say I wanted to highlight the teeth. Um, and normally when you do teeth for a painting or paste painting, again, I'll bring that up, you're, creating teeth with the darkness of the the black paint or whatever you're using. I'm going to use that same concept here, but because I've got the teeth already there, it makes it quite easy to be able to um, you know give it some depth and some shading and stuff. And I'll show you a little bit later on that I do some shading around the jaw and where the eyebrows hit and all of that. So I also wanted to mention that you'll see that I do put it under the UV lamp quite a lot, um, and that's not really because the that if you don't do that, the design might melt into each other, the colors might bleed or anything like that. It's more because, as you can see, I need to angle the skull in my hand so that I can get a better angle for the teeth and all the other shading that we'll be doing a little bit later on. So that's why I cure the UV resin off every time I finish one part of the face, just so that I've got the freedom to move it around without smudging the work that I've already put in. And so I'll just let this go for a bit, and I will be back. Okay, so I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the shading. I wasn't too sure whether this was going to work because normally with paint, you can feather it out with um, a slightly larger brush. I wasn't too sure whether the UV resin was going to do have the same effect and work the same way. And to my surprise, it worked really, really well. Um, I just put a small amount on and then just used a fluffy brush and just feathered it all out. And you'll notice that I'll do some swiping from side to side as well, and that's just sort of spreading it out, um, just to give it that shading and a little bit of depth in the temples and the cheekbones that we'll be doing later on, and also above the head as well. So I'll just let you watch and I will be back. Okay, now that most of that shading is done, I'm sort of trying to go through this a little bit quicker because it is quite a long video. And if you're still with me, thank you so much for hanging in there. I'm just going to be doing some flowers um, for the sugar skull, and I'll be using that dotting technique as you just saw, and then I come back and make them more, the purple dots into a little bit more of a petal. It's not perfection, but we're not going for perfection here. Um, we are essentially doing a skull, and we are creating a skull. So um, no skulls are perfect, and and it's just a bit of fun. So, and I just wanted to shout out to Claire again. What an absolute joy it's been to create something completely different for me. I had to think of something that I haven't done on my channel before, and I really haven't done any epoxy resin yet. I do work with epoxy resin, and I'd like to, um, you know, dive into that a little bit more in the future, especially coming up to Christmas and that. So, thank you, Claire, for giving me and other creators this opportunity. So, I'll just let you sit back and watch, and I will be back. Okay, so we've now finished with the design. I'm really loving this piece. I think it's turned out really, really quite lovely. So um, I'm going to start putting the bag charm together, and I'm just using a screw eye pin for that. You see the other bits that I was going to use there. I decided not to do that, and I sort of used a chain. I'm just going to use my drill, and I'm just going to find the center first where I want the eye pin to go, and then I will drill a hole and use the cutest little super glue that I have ever found. It came in a 5 pack, and if you watched last week's video, I was just overjoyed when I saw these in the aisle at Bunnings. So I picked a packet up, and it's been such a good glue because the nozzle is very, very fine, and so you're able to get into finer details and make sure that you can secure your pieces together and make them safe. So there it is. Isn't it cute? I'm sorry. A little bit obsessed with them. Sorry, Claire, that's you. I'm not obsessed. So I'm just going to put this all together and make sure that it's all secured, and we'll get some photos towards the end. While I'm here, again, I wanted to thank Claire for hosting this collaboration, and please, please, please go ahead and watch the rest of um, all the people that participated in this challenge. The Halloween challenge was quite a joy, and I loved every bit of it. And I'm very grateful to be a part of a community where everyone supports each other. So please go and watch the rest of the videos. And I thank you if you're coming from somebody else's channel. I wanted to welcome you and thank you for watching my video. So this is the end result on a bag that I made. So I'm really, really happy with it. And so to all the people who have subscribed and to all of the people that have been with me from the very beginning, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I will see you next week. Bye for now.